worker's been in touch. I imagine the kind of New Year party he was having last night.
I don't want to think about it, because it gives me a hangover just thinking about what that dude got up to. Come on, then.
Man alive. But anyway, you know, he never stops. He never stops supplying us with little tidbits.
What's PP done for us now?
He just likes finding little odds and ends and just sending them in. And you remember when we used to, years ago, we used to do that thing where we'd read headlines.
Yeah.
And sometimes the headline is all you need from a story.
Yeah.
And this is what's great about this one. If you just give me a news at 10 style bong.
And now the news at 10. Bong.
Boy waited while doctor rode unicycle.
What
yeah, well, amazing. A hospital has apologised after a 6-month-old boy waited 2 hours for treatment while a doctor rode up and down a ward on a unicycle with suspected gastroenteritis. I should point out now, James was fine. It was not a problem. But she spotted the doctor pedalling the unicycle, but was astonished when the same doctor later walked over to examine the child. Miss Dadswell said, "We took one look at the doctor and said, 'You must be joking.' His face went bright red." A spokeswoman for the hospital said, "Of course, we are sorry if distress was inadvertently caused to the mother, and we've offered her our apologies. But let's also remember that we should try and make hospital wards less intimidating places for patients, and we regularly provide diversions that are not directly related to medical care. Many parents have commented favourably on this approach, and indeed about the unicycle."
What I love about that story is that it's the most important job in the world,
yeah,
and the most useless. Being a doctor is saving lives. It's incredible. It's so noble. Riding a unicycle is the most useless thing you can do. It's that to me is plate spinning, juggling,
flame eating.
Who goes into plate spinning? Is it like the father going, "Son, when you've finished university, you can take over the business"? But I want to be a doctor, Dad. Look, the plate's nearly, and you're hooked, and you give it a little push, and you're there, and you're hooked.
It's a dying art. You don't see it as often as perhaps you once did.
Dad, I want to be a doctor, but the plate's nearly dropped, son. And unbelievable.
But what I can't make out from that story is whether the doctor he'd done the 7 years medical training, and then they said, "You're working at this specific hospital."
Yeah.
They whipped out the unicycle. They said, "You're gonna need to learn that as well before we can put you on the wards." Or whether he was practicing. Who knows if he was practicing?
Do you know what I think happened? I think the bloke in charge of the hospital, there was 2 people up for the job. This fella, who was brilliant, he got first from Oxford, he was amazing, and the bloke in charge, his nephew. And they both scored the same.
He did an open university course.
Yeah. And they went, "Well, you're both very good, but who can ride a unicycle?"
He whipped it out. He went, "Have a go."
Yeah, and he's been practicing. Unbelievable.
But it's also the idea that if it is indeed something which the hospital has initiated in order to cheer people up, particularly kids, I mean, it just seems like a dangerous thing to be doing in a hospital, with all due respect.
I think so. You could pull out leads, wires.
Anything could happen.
I know, yeah. They get you to turn your mobile phone off when you go into some ward, so please leave your unicycle here, surely. Do not, no unicycles beyond this point.
If you have a unicycle accident, of course, a great place to be.
It is a good place to be.
It's an ideal space to be already.
But who rides the unicycle anyway? Do you know what really annoys me? We live near a park. It's a lovely park, and on a Saturday for about 3 hours, there's some twat hippie with braids, dreadlocks, sitting there, playing one drum. How can you play one drum? He thinks this is brilliant. This is therapy. It's shut the fuck up.
It's nothing. It's not music. It's not percussion. It's not expressing anything. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
So this would be my worst nightmare if you were to take me on an evening out. You say, "Steve, we're going tonight, right? You can't get out of it. You've got to do it. It's 2 hours. Stomp."
Oh.
Stomp, where they put dustbin lids on their feet. Now, I mean, I've seen a little bit of it on the Oscars.
Yeah.
It's alright for 30 seconds. Well done. But 2 hours. What is that show? What is the Stomp show?
I don't know.
I mean, Jesus Christ! After about 15 minutes, you've had enough of that. Surely. I'm assuming there's not really a story.
Are they bin men? No, I just wondered how you get into that, how you start practicing and go, "Do you know what? That sounds quite good."
Yeah, they are. They're bin men, yeah. I was shopping with Carl before Christmas, and we went round sort of Piccadilly and St James's and those really beautiful shops around there. And I went in one shop. You had to ring a bell to enter.
Yeah.
They came down, and it's like a iconoclastic sort of shop, and they found things from churches and nearly all Russian 16th century pieces onwards. This beautiful carvings and paintings and statues and everything, and I was wowed by it. And this bloke clearly loved his work, and he was enthusing to me about these stuff. This is from the 16th century, this is Russian, this is and I went, "Oh, it's beautiful." And as I was looking round, Carl, I heard Carl sidle up to the bloke and go, "What's the newest thing you've got here?"
Yeah, sure. That's his first thought.
I mean, that is the wrong question to ask of a man who's clearly in antiques.
Yeah.
Proud of the fact he's got 16th century classic Russian stuff. To ask, "What's the newest thing you've got here?" I mean, what sort of question is that? Oh, I don't know. Probably the doorbell. I don't know. What does he want to say? Oh, my shirt. What were you thinking?
For?
I just was making chat with him because it's the sort of place that I don't think many people go in, right, Steve? When you go up to this shop, right, it's not sat in there. You have to ring a bell. He's getting on with his life upstairs. He lives upstairs, right? You ring the bell to say, "What, I'll come in your shop." He pops down, stands there watching you look around. So it's not a natural way to shop.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? It's not nice having a bloke stood there watching you look at all this old stuff and that. So I was kind of making friendly chat.
Yeah.
And I think it's an alright question because he was saying there's loads of old stuff in there and he kept going on about the old stuff. So what wanted to say? Well, what's the newest thing you've got?
And what was?
Do you know what he said? The other question he asked him, he said, "How often do you get new stuff in?" And the bloke went, "Every day." And I said to him, "Why did you ask that?" He said, "Well, I was thinking, if you got antiques and you sell it all, what's left?" Like someone's going to sell all the antiques in the world because they're not making. He said, "Because they're not making any new stuff." What does that mean? They're not making any new stuff.
But I know for a fact no one's ever going to go in there and buy the lot anyway. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I'm not at any point in my life, and I don't think it'll ever happen, will I go, "I need some old Russian wood." Because
it was brilliant.
No,
it was, Steve. No. It was beautiful. It's amazing stuff. There's stuff. There's these things from the 16th century of sort of like saints and monks, and they're carved.
But
and
there's loads of it. It's just all piled up. No one's interested. If I was him, I'd go, "Do you know what? I'm into this, but no one else is. Close shop." Because seriously, it's just piled up, piles upon piles of like old bits of wood with pictures on it and that.
But think of a man 400 years ago that carved this. No,
but nobody wants it, do they? I've never heard anyone say, "Oh look, it's my birthday coming up. I'll tell you what I'd love.
What?
Bit of old Russian wood." It doesn't happen. That's what I'm saying. I've never heard anyone saying it. Like, I've never overheard someone saying, "You don't know where the Russian shop is, do you?" And this is in London where the rates are high. There was this thing, right, Steve? Again, making chat. Loads of bits of wood we like. Them old drawings on, like...
It was like a panel from a church that someone had painted.
Right, yeah.
And I think it was like, from sort of like 1590 or something. Yeah. And it was this a picture of this saint, wasn't it?
It said 1590. It could be from any time, really. So there's this... Most of them in there was that Stalin bloke, right? But there was this little...
Right, can I just stop with there? Lenin.
Right,
okay.
Alright then.
Yeah.
So he was on all these bits of wood and stuff. But I saw this other little face, right? Little fella with a beard. Right, so I said, "Who's this bloke here?" He said, "Oh, the story there, right?" He said, "It's this little fella who went a bit mad or something. He got mugged back in Russia." This is right, isn't it? This is what he was saying. He said he got mugged.
It's just that term. I love that term in a 16th century Russian wood. Oh no, I'm being mugged.
So he got mugged.
He got happy slapped.
And he said, "I've had enough of this," right?
Yeah.
And he went to live in the woods, right? Made like a little shed, stayed there. People went to visit him, and like if you got a problem, you knock on his door and you go, "Oh, I'm sick of it," and he'll sort of say, "Yeah, I know what you mean. I've moved out of the city and what have you," and he'd make them feel better, and then they go again. Now, why has that man got a plaque? If he was around now, there's no way he'd have a bit of wood with his face on it. Is what I'm saying. If someone had got fed up with living in London or New York or whatever, and they go, "I'm going to go and live in the woods," people wouldn't visit him, and he wouldn't get a piece of wood with his face on, is what I'm saying. But this man is selling it for I think it was about 750 quid for this bloke's head. He's having a laugh.
Because it's 400 years old and beautifully painted.
But the chances are that this is either a well-known Russian folktale, or it may even be a piece of classic Russian literature.
He's a saint. He was a saint. He was canonised.
Everybody was a saint years ago. That seems to be like thrown about, doesn't it? Who's a saint now in this year? Who's a saint? Name me one now. Yeah, this fella lived in the woods in a hut. Oh yeah, that's Saint John or whatever. He's not a saint. He's done nothing. If anything, he's sort of said, "I can't be bothered with living in a city with everyone else. Everyone else has got to put up with it, but I can't put up with it. I'm going to live in the woods." Well, if you can't put up with it, you're not good enough, are you? You've got no stamina. And yet he gets a plaque, is what I'm saying. It's annoying.
Who would you like to see get a plaque in the modern world? Who deserves a plaque, in your opinion?
probably like nurses and that who do a lot of bad things that I think I couldn't do that, carrying lungs about and all that. No, but I couldn't do. Do you know what I mean? That's one job that my mum wanted me to be a doctor.
Wow! What was she thinking? Oh, what's her expectations like now?
Didn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, when did she start giving up that dream? At what age did she start going, Carl, you don't need to study your books anymore. Go and play with the worms in the garden. When did she sort of like let you off that dream?
Was it the day that she caught you with a spoon up your nose?
From the creators of The Office, Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant. Extras, the first series, now on DVD.
Who are you?
Nobody.
What's that? Who?
Nobody.
That's right. Nobody. And who am I?
So the Starsky Hutch I can never remember.
You are guaranteed an Oscar if you play a mentor.
I've just written a sitcom, but I wonder if you could give it to anyone you know.
Is there any nudity in it?
Well, it could be.
Men or women?
Either. Well, just women.
I will make it so.
A painfully funny double disc. Extras on DVD now.
That was a good advert, wasn't it?
I'm just remembering some of the great jokes in that show.
What was that for? I always forget what adverts are for. So it was for.
That was for extras, available now on DVD.
So if you've got vouchers for Christmas, you could go to a shop and buy.
Go to the shop, yeah,
Extras.
definitely. Absolutely. You could walk straight into any kind of shop, high street shop, and say, "Excuse me, have you got extras on DVD? I've got some vouchers," and exchange them for a copy of the DVD.
And that's big in England and America, isn't it? It's on HBO in America, so it's a very successful.
Americans, I guess, the great place to buy that would be on say one of the websites, Amazon or one of the internet shopping
.com or
companies,
.co.uk or Play.
And search for it there. But,
.com. And I mean, if it's going the way of The Office, which is the most successful British sitcom ever, I mean, I'd invest now. I'd say I was round at the beginning. I bought extras on DVD the first year it came out.
Get a first edition of the DVD.
Get a first edition of the DVD.
That'll be highly collectible.
And there's great extras on there. You see Sam Jackson and Kate Winslet and Ben Stiller.
Rick, there's some wonderful behind-the-scenes footage, and there's some wonderful little documentaries about the making of the show. I mean, to me, it just makes perfect sense. It's still a great way to see in the new year.
Right, but if you are going into Amazon, .co.uk and you're buying extras, buy a copy of Flanimals. More Flanimals is available now.
Yeah, I don't get any money from that, so I'm not gonna talk about that.
No. Just buy Flanimals, more Flanimals.
Well, don't keep going on about it. That's not fair.
Extras.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming up, the Mega Dance remix of I Could Eat a Knob at Night.
Plus, of course, monkey news.
Yeah, and if you've got any monkey news, by the way, just email it in. What is it? podcast@rickygervais.com.
That's right.
But don't be asking any questions about monkeys and that, because there's too many people asking about what's going on in monkey world and that, and I can't do it to everyone.
Well, you're gonna bring up any kind of big monkey information.
If you need to know that, I'll have it every week. But it's just that a lot of people, they've got a taste for it.
Talking of monkey news, if you want to learn more about Carl, we've just put up a big biography, and there's some pictures that you haven't seen before of Carl Pilkington, and you can go to rickygervais.com and check out the roundness of his head and some of his stupid ideas.
But anyway, talking of emails and that, right? Nick Decker, who's emailed from Australia, right, Melbourne. He's been going on about dolphins and that, problems with dolphins.
What problems?
He's just saying when that wind happened.
What?
There was like a bad wind thing going on, and
not your Auntie Nora again.
There was a load of dolphins in like a bay.
Hold on, wait a minute. What bad wind?
In America, they had that
Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
Right.
And there was like a little bay with dolphins in it, and
right.
with all guns on them and stuff.
Whoa, rewind. What do you mean?
Do you know they use dolphins, don't they? They say they're an intelligent animal and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got them all like, they've all had the training. They're all like ready for battle and stuff.
Right.
Got like rifles on them.
What do you mean rifles?
How can they hold the rifle?
How can they hold the rifle?
No, it's sort of on a strap and that.
What do you mean it's on a strap?
I don't know what they kit them out with, but they're just ready for war.
What are you talking about?
Listen, though, that isn't the point. Don't worry about it.
Oh, we leave that one, do we? That's not the point, so let's leave it.
So they're swimming about. And that,
with rifles and berets.
Whatever they've got on.
Yeah.
Right, ready for battle and stuff.
Yeah, ready for battle, yeah.
The wind comes in.
The wind comes in.
Hurricane Katrina.
Makes a wave and that. They get out of the little bay.
Yeah.
Still all kitted out with all the... Steve, do you want to look at the email?
Well, there's no way. There's loads of dolphins now swimming round, kitted out with guns and that, with a strap. How can a dolphin hold a... Whoa, Again, you've been watching Planet of the Apes.
They just say, they say they're an intelligent animal and that.
Yeah.
People are trusting them, right?
Brilliant.
Look, here's a dolphin.
Oh, he's trying to talk to us. What's he saying? He's saying, "Go ahead, punk, make my day."
Look,
You're talking shit.
It's just news to say if there's dolphins, if you see a dolphin in that, don't go, "Oh, it's friendly," because there's some with weapons now. So I'm just reading it out on email. That'll cover it and that. So
bollocks.
And more animal stuff, right? Your girlfriend, Jane, right? When I was round there the other night, she was talking about they're getting closer to doing the mammoth.
Oh yeah, they're genetically engineering it. They've they're a few sort of million bits and pieces away, but they reckon they're going to be able to build a living mammoth in 2 years. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What sort of Jurassic Park type stuff?
Sort of, yeah. Yeah. What do you think of that, Carl?
Do we need them?
What do you mean?
Well, is it worth messing about? Because I always think, well, whoever's like knocking one of these together, right?
Yeah.
They must be pretty bright. Right?
Yeah.
So whilst they're messing about with an hairy elephant, could they be doing more useful stuff that the world needs?
Well, it's sort of like, it's fascinating. Even if on the face of it, it looks pointless, which it rarely is. Scientific discovery. It's about conquering nature, isn't it? I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? That you could bring a mammoth back. What are the implications to bringing a mammoth back? Could they aid the workload? Could they feed the starving? There's
what, so you're saying,
well, I'm not
bring
saying
it back
anything.
to kill it to eat it?
Well, I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that rarely is scientific discovery pointless and a waste of time in the greater scheme of things. We learn from this, don't we? The fact that it can map DNA of a mammoth, what are the implications there? Could we bring back, I don't know, Churchill? Could we bring back Nelson? Would we want to? Is it moral? That's another question. But the feet alone, and I don't mean its feet, I don't mean we can bring back mammoth feet.
I could tell that was what he was thinking when his eyes moved.
Yeah, I meant the achievement alone is remarkable. Putting a man on the moon, pointless, but what a feat.
But don't you think?
Not impressed by putting a man on the moon?
No, we've chatted about the man on the moon. Some people like it, some don't. I'm not going to argue about it. Do you know what I mean? If you were behind it and that, good on you. But
yeah.
I'm not that fussed. I don't think we've learnt that much from it. He went all that way, popped a flag up, came back. What have we learned about that journey since? We haven't really been back.
We conquered space. We just conquered space. That's what we do. We see what we can do. Why climb a mountain? Because it's there. What's at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah, but I don't agree with people who climb mountain for the sake of it. It's alright if you've got to get over it, but don't go up and then go down again.
No,
just go for a good walk.
Well, I don't mind as long as they don't strain the emergency services. If you're a posh bloke going up the mountain in a beard and you get stuck, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And then it's people would have to risk their lives going to rescue you because you wanted to laugh. I agree with that actually.
But don't you think the world's busy enough? It's like you can't hardly move. You know what I mean? And mammoths are taking up quite a bit of room if a load of them come back. We've already got elephants, which in my eyes are good enough. They do, they carry stuff about and that. What's going to be better, a mammoth or an elephant? Because I can see that one of them's going to have to go at some point. If like we start running out of elephants, would they say, well, it doesn't matter, we've got mammoths and stuff. So what's the point?
You don't need anyone else in the room for a conversation, do you?
No, but
He's arguing with himself.
He's arguing with his own head.
Amazing.
Where would you put the mammoth if they get it going, right?
Yeah.
They pop it on give it the old electric shock and that, wake it up, and
Frankenstein has been watching.
And it's like,
all his information about science is about the Flintstones, Planet of the Apes, and Frankenstein.
In his head, they've got an elephant. They've put some carpet tiles over it, and they're trying to bring that back to life as a mammoth.
Forget it then.
Carl, can we have some monkey news before I die?
Alright.
Oh, chimpanzee that monkey news, yeah.
This week, what I thought I'd do, right, because we're getting loads of emails from people who haven't really heard much of the monkey news that I've done in the past, right? And a lot of people are sending through one of the first ones that I did that was a good monkey news. I think it's worth hearing again, just in case you forgot about it, because it's sort of classic monkey news. I don't know if you want a different jingle.
Well, no, I mean, it's just, if it's anything that you've ever said, it's not true anyway, so carry on.
Well, it was a true one, because this is the one that, like, this is like world-known monkey news. A lot of people will send this through. It's the most popular one. Right? It's about this this monkey that was knocking about called Ollie. Right? It's called Oliver.
Yeah.
And it was in this zoo. And it was the only monkey in there, right? So
this is the one they think was the